happens? I'm Garrett, that's Travis. Today we are doing a different type of video. I think this is kind of birthed by a conversation I was having with Travis yesterday. It's at his local liquor store, not yesterday, but he told me about this yesterday. And the point system in which the liquor store uses doesn't really make sense anymore. The point system is on the rise, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say so.
And so we kind of going back and forth because where I am, we don't use points, or there isn't a store that I go to that I can think of that utilizes the point system. We're pretty much on the relationship side of things.
Yeah.
And coming from an ABC state, Virginia, North Carolina, I don't know how many other ABC control states there are. You're on a lottery system. Mm-hmm. And, Ohio.
Or you stand in line.
Well, no, they got rid of the line thing.
They
so
did?
There's no more, like,
There's
when I
another thing.
left, it was a notification system saying, hey, these bottles dropped. So it kind of negated the line because you're not going to be standing in line because you know that's starting to get that many.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, all the stores release them at the same time. This is as of a year ago when I left. So you could just play your odds. It was like, I'm closer to this one in the cut that no one really goes to. You might not get a Blanton straight from the barrel, but you got a Blanton's.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we just kind of wanted to open up as far as like what we are seeing, and then you could let us know in the comments what you're seeing. So I'll let you elaborate a little more on this point situation.
Yeah, I think the point situation is interesting. So it started out as with allocation, they would put their allocated bottles on point systems, and there was only like a handful of stores do it, and now a lot more stores in the Dallas area are doing points. I think points are great if the points make sense. If you're saying a bottle of Pappy is retailing for $150, and you're saying that for every dollar you spend in the store is what
Equal to 1 point.
1 point. I'm not saying it has to only be 150 points because that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense with allocation, but look at what the allocated prices are in the market. So say the market's saying a bottle of Pappy 15 is $1,500, or $2,500. Then I understand having 2,500 points, and then you pay the retail price for the Pappy if you had the points, and then you paid for the bottle. I kind of get that. But now it's astronomical. Now a lot of these stores is the bottle is not even at retail, and the points are like astronomical. And it's like, but you can just go on retail and buy it if you want to do that instead of spend that kind of money. And then some people would say, oh, well, you're in the store, and if you're spending money in that store anyway, what does it really matter? I just have a tough time with it. I would rather, not spend that kind of money in one store and kind of go to different stores and see what's out there. So it's
right,
tough.
and that's kind of what I said when Travis originally told me the story, is that like I would just stop shopping there.
Yeah.
I think a point system is fine if that's what the area seems to prefer or works for the area. Mm-hmm. However, when the points basis is not a legit scale that's always adhered to, that in lies the issue. Because I think that a point system should probably never go up. It probably should go down. As you guys have seen, bourbon drinkers that have been around for a while, the secondary market is ticking slowly down.
Yeah.
You can get bottles, but they aren't commanding the prices that they used to.
Oh, and a lot of the allocated bottles nowadays that were allocated are no longer allocated. We talk about this all the time. Henry McKenna and other bottles similar to that are no longer allocated.
And that's speaking for Texas, right? You could still be hunting for a McKenna 10-year or a Heaven Hill 7 or a Weller Special Reserve, all pretty much common here. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to work hard to get one. They're at a store near you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think, and then I still do see, not necessarily in this area and back home, I do see in some cases where liquor stores are just, I guess, not up on bourbon, and that still is an allocated bottle. Yeah. And it's like, hey man, 3 miles down the road, there's another store, and they have like 4 cases. And it's like, I know liquor stores have to do what they have to do because of the tier system. Mm-hmm. However, I wish there was a better way, because I was, to my point, I would say Austin is pretty much a relationship city, town. And there are people who probably spend more money than I do and get more favoritism and things like that. And there are people who are against, handshake deals, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying one way is right or wrong, points versus relationships, because there's also people who hack into systems, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, am I mad at them because they figured it out and they know it's about to be delivered? Probably.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Am I more so mad that they've outsmarted the system and that I don't get to benefit from it? Definitely. Depending on where you live, there are people who have access to deliveries and they know what's going to be on the truck or what's scheduled to be delivered. And or some people, drivers, will just tell you. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying that either way is right or wrong, but I do feel like at least with the relationships, you do have that, hey man, not that this has ever happened to me. It's like, I gave you the Pappy 23 last week. I'm going to hold these Michter 10 years for my other customers. And that's fair. I just got a great bottle close to retail, and you're saying you want to make sure other people get things. Doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Other times it's like, hey, this is coming in tomorrow if you come back. And it's like, yeah, I'll be here at 10. So it goes both ways. And I coming from an ABC state and then seeing what you go through, I prefer the relationship.
Yeah.
As well as because it could happen anywhere. Like, I hate being that guy that goes into a liquor store in a random state, city, and I'm like, hey, where's the good stuff? All right, I'm not going to buy anything, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, you may not have any good stuff, but you also may know where good stuff is. And you might even be inclined to say, hey, nothing today, but you're still in town 3 days from now. That's when my truck comes. And it's a short-term relationship, right? But there's some building reports, because at the end of the day, you do want to spend your money. That's the whole reason you drove to the store. And I think that even taking the time to build that 5-minute relationship, 10-minute relationship, however long you're in the store, is sometimes better than just walking straight out, because you never know what the clerk is going to say, or if the clerk is the owner and they have their private stash somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any things are like tips and tricks or hacks or anything like that. I'm just saying you just never know. Versus a point system, you see whatever your dream bottle is, and it's 6,000 points, and either you live there or you just popped it off the highway, and it's just like, that's never going to happen.
Yeah. I will say, so you have, like, it's interesting. So if you think about it, so what I've seen so far in all of my bourbon journey is you've got a point system, you've got the allocation drop where people stand in lines, you've got what you've got lottery, you've got the email notifications like you guys used to get in Virginia, where people could pop into a store. It might not be a line, but you know, it kind of is a different way of doing a lottery. You have relationship building, and then you also have the what's the last one I was thinking about? That's got a foggy memory now. So the other one that I was thinking about is lastly just luck. Luck, like just randomly going into stores, and there are some stores that just put stuff on the shelves, and if it's there, it's there. It's not in the back. It's not in, they don't really do anything with it. They just put it out, and I've seen that too. And I think it just depends on where you go. I was telling Garrett the other day, I was at a store and they had just out on the not on the shelves, it's behind the case, but still, it was out where anyone could see it. Was the Joseph Magnus cigar blend. That's normally an allocated bottle. It's normally on a lot of point systems. That's harder to get. Sometimes it's bundled. That's the other one too. Sometimes they do bundles. So they'll bundle a really nice bottle with a bottle.
Something they ain't selling. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, something they're not selling.
The distributor made them take it. Now they're making you take it.
Exactly. And so that's the other one too. So, I mean, there's multiple ways to do this. I think...
I don't mind the bundle, though.
Yeah, neither do I. I was going to say the same thing.
One, if it is a bourbon with another bourbon or whiskey, it helps you explore more other things than what you're there for. As well as, I think that's a fair system. Because normally when in my experience, you get a bundle, it's pretty much close to SRP or whatever the store has to sell it at. There isn't a markup because you're already buying the other bottle.
Which is usually expensive and something they can't move.
Yeah. So you're already investing in that aspect, and you could chalk it up. You could look at it the other way. It's like, all right, I'm getting these 2 bottles. It's going to cost me $400, so I'm paying $400 secondary either way, because you're still spending the $400 to get the bottle that you would have got on secondary $400.
Yep.
So you can look at it both ways. However, you do get an extra bottle, and you might like it, or you may never buy it again.
It's true. Or you might be able to gift it to somebody as a really nice gift. Some people,
or that,
because sometimes it's bundled with scotch or with something else that you might not drink that much, and maybe it's bundled with a vodka that you're not into or a tequila you're not into, but you know someone who is. So I think bundling's great. I
9
think
times out of 10, it's bundled with another Sazerac product. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, we can be
If
honest.
Sazerac made them take it, they
Yeah.
need to get rid of it, and that's how they got the bottle we wanted to begin with.
Yeah.
Whatever part of the Sazerac vertical you purchase, maybe that's good for you or not. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love to know in the comments as well what state you're in, and what is the primary in the area you're in. Not even be your state; it can be like just
Your city, your area,
your city,
yeah.
your area. What's prevalent in your areas? And I think it helps too, like building a community of people to understand where things are. Because then, if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm like, oh wait, someone said that in this city it's drop days. Sweet, I'll just stop by a store and see if it's something's in there. So I think being able to help each other out with that, I think, is interesting as well. But you said, so yours is relationship building all day long. That's probably your...
Yeah, I mean, there might be a few that are on points, but I honestly don't go to those stores, and not necessarily just because they have points. I just don't go to those stores. Some stores just have things that might not be important. Like I got a Elijah Craig PGA just as a collector. There's nothing truly special about that bottle, and it's in a very unassuming store, and they just have a whole case of it, or however many they have. Have I seen it anywhere else in Austin? No, not for an exorbitant price, not for retail, nothing. Just haven't seen it. So even those, I don't want to say lower level, mom and pops. Let's say mom and pop places. They're worth popping in every once in a while because you never know. You got some Dusties out of one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's, you just, you kind of try different stores. I try a bunch of different stores. I always go and see what's out there. I like popping. I popped in one yesterday. They had a pretty decent selection. Some of the stuff was higher priced, but it was a pretty decent selection. If I was, in the pinch for like something, it wasn't astronomically over what the secondary market was, but they had a few bottles there. And so, but it's funny, you go in and they know who's looking for bourbon, and they're just like, oh, we don't have anything allocated in right now. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm not always looking for allocated. Sometimes I'm looking for store picks. If you have something cool as a store pick, I'm looking for that too. But yeah, that's another topic.
You know what? That hasn't happened to me in a while, but yes, there is a certain, culture within stores where if I walk in with a shirt like this, right? Someone may, say, we don't have anything good, like before I even passed the threshold. That did used to happen quite often, actually.
Yeah.
But now it's like Travis said, I enjoy whiskey, and allocated or hard to find things are always a treat. But, last night, Evan Williams and Coke all night long.
Yeah.
And that's just what really happens when the camera's not on.
That is true.
So, you guys know I love that white label. And if it wasn't Evan Williams, there could have been a chance those are going to be early times. It just...
Wouldn't have been early times. I don't have any early times opened, and so he would have to just go to the store and buy his early times. But that's for another story. I don't have any early times open, but
let us know in the comments how your city works, or if you have any systems that you think do work well and you enjoy them.
Yeah, love to know that. So whether you like it neat on the rocks or in a Coke, whiskey happens.
Cheers.
Cheers.